Things are getting real on the Chi, and after episode 8, it feels like the calm before a storm. Relationships are cracking, secrets are slipping out, and power players are about to clash. If you thought things were tense already, just wait because episode 9 is shaping up to be the most explosive of the season. Episode 8 of season 7 wasn't just another filler. It quietly set the pieces on the board for what could be a deadly endgame. Let's go back over the episode, moment by moment, to see exactly what's been building up. Let's start with Emmett and Keisha. Their relationship continues to struggle. As the pressure builds around them, Keisha is trying hard to focus on her new job and being a good mom, but she's clearly tired. Emmett, on the other hand, is still caught between trying to protect his family and staying tied to Douda's dangerous world. That tension came to a head in episode 8 when Keisha made it clear she's had enough of the lies and secrets. One of the most telling moments was when she questioned Emmett about his loyalty, not just to her, but to their whole future. It's like she's seeing the same pattern repeat, and you can tell she's at her breaking point. Next, we have Douda. And let's be honest, he's becoming more reckless with every episode. After trying to keep control of everything through fear and intimidation, episode 8 showed that his grip on power might be slipping. He's facing pressure from all sides, especially from Victor, who's trying to clean up the political mess left behind. But it's not just the politicians Douda has to worry about. Inside his own circle, trust is fading. There were subtle signs that even his closest allies are questioning how far they're willing to follow him. And when a man like Douda senses betrayal, things usually get violent fast. Victor's story is another one that took a big step forward in this episode. We saw him trying to regain the public's trust, but it's clear he's still fighting a war within himself. The guilt, the pressure to keep his secrets buried, and his growing frustration with how power really works in Chicago, it's all starting to boil over. Episode 8 gave us a look at his internal conflict, especially during that scene where he almost lashed out at a reporter. He's trying to play the good guy, but the darkness from his past is always right there, waiting to pull him back in. Whether he's truly changed or just pretending is something we'll find out soon. Then there's Jake, Jemma, and Bakari, the younger trio dealing with problems that are way bigger than their age. Jake seems more focused now, trying to stay out of trouble, but with Jemma dealing with her own identity and dreams, there's a quiet space growing between them. Bakari, meanwhile, is still being pulled between the streets and doing the right thing. In episode 8, he had a conversation that might seem small to some, but it was heavy, the kind that hints at a turning point. He's clearly thinking about leaving that life behind, but walking away isn't easy, especially with people like Douda still in control. Let's not forget Papa, either. He didn't get as much screen time, but the few moments we did get were emotional. The loss of his father is still weighing heavy on him, and you can feel that he's searching. Sometimes it's not what's said that matters most, it's what's left unsaid. And episode 8 of the Chi was full of those quiet moments that tell you something big is coming. The characters are moving like they're on thin ice, and every step feels like it could crack the surface. Take Emmett again. It's not just his relationship with Keisha that's breaking. It's him. His loyalty to Douda is starting to eat away at who he is. In this episode, he looked more nervous, more paranoid than ever before. That phone call he got, the one where he froze for just a second too long, that wasn't random. The showrunners are dropping signs. Emmett knows something is coming, and deep down, he's scared. He might act tough, but the guilt is catching up to him. And the truth is, if he doesn't break away from Douda soon, it's going to cost him everything. Possibly his life. Meanwhile, Douda is slipping, but not because he's getting soft. It's because he's getting sloppy. His arrogance is turning into carelessness. In episode 8, that sit-down he had with Q's old people, it wasn't about peace, it was about intimidation. But even with all his threats, you could see it in their eyes. They're not scared of him anymore. Douda's power was built on fear, and now that fear is fading. That scene where he smiled and said, "I always finish what I start," that was more of a warning than a promise. He's about to go down swinging, and someone close to him is likely going to pull the trigger, literally or metaphorically. Let's go back to Victor. One scene that stood out was when he was alone, looking at the old campaign flyers. The lighting was dim, the room quiet, but the tension was loud. That moment said everything. He's haunted. Not just by what happened with Tierra or the campaign, but by what he did to protect his brother. And the streets don't forget. Now, he's facing the truth. Cleaning up his image won't wash away the blood. That phone call from the reporter asking if he wanted to comment, that wasn't just a journalist doing her job. That was a warning. The past is knocking, and it's coming with receipts. Bakari scene deserves more attention too. That quiet talk with Papa near the corner store. That wasn't just two kids catching up. Bakari's body language, his eyes shifting, his hand fidgeting. It's like he was carrying something heavier than just stress. Maybe it's guilt. Maybe it's fear. Maybe both. He's got one foot in and one foot out of the game, and the line he's walking is razor sharp. If he makes the wrong move, he won't just hurt himself, he might bring down everyone around him. He's the wild card, and episode 8 planted the idea that Bakari might be the key to Douda's downfall. Or his next soldier. Then there's Jemma. She's pulling away emotionally, and it's not because she doesn't care, it's because she's tired. The world's pulling her in different directions. Her activism, her music, her complicated relationship with Jake. She's trying to find her own voice. But in this episode, it was clear she's scared of losing herself. The scene where she sat on her bed scrolling through old pictures, silent tears in her eyes, wasn't just about nostalgia. It was grief, not for someone else, for who she used to be before everything got messy. And let's not skip over Papa. Even in silence, he's screaming inside. The way he hesitated before speaking at the youth center. The look on his face when he saw his father's picture on the wall, that was deep. He's not just mourning a person. He's mourning his faith, his foundation, his sense of peace. And Papa's journey has always been about belief in God, in people, in purpose. Episode 8 hinted that he's close to breaking, and when people, like Papa, break, they don't explode, they implode. Quietly, slowly, tragically. Every scene in episode 8 was like the turn of a screw, tighter, slower, and more dangerous. And that's exactly how the Chi sets up its biggest finales. Nobody's safe, and everybody's hiding something. As we head into episode 9, all these little cracks are turning into full-blown fractures. Let's get into it. The predictions. Episode 8 left so many threads dangling, and if the Chi has taught us anything, it's that nobody is safe. Episode 9 isn't just going to tie up loose ends, it's going to cut some of them off completely. So let's break it down character by character. Let's start with Emmett. He's in too deep with Douda, and we've seen this building since the start of the season. He's been playing both sides, trying to keep his business clean while secretly helping Douda move things in the background. But you can't live in two worlds forever. Episode 9 could be the moment Emmett finally chooses. Does he go Elin with Douda? Or does he betray him to protect Keisha and the kids? Here's the prediction. Emmett's going to try to outsmart Douda. Maybe he makes a deal with someone else, possibly Victor or even the police. But it won't be clean, and it might not end well. Don't be shocked if someone close to Emmett gets hurt as a warning. Maybe even Keisha getting caught in the crossfire. That moment might push him to finally snap and go to war. Next. Let's talk about Douda, the kingpin, the shadow boss. But every king has his fall, and this might be it. Right now, Douda is surrounded by silence, but it's the kind of silence that comes before betrayal. His allies are watching him slip. They're whispering behind his back. Episode 9 could be when the hit comes, not just a literal one, but a coordinated move to take him down. Prediction. Someone close to him turns. It could be Rob, who's been quiet lately, or maybe even someone from within his security circle. Don't rule out Bakari either, especially if he finds out Douda was connected to anything involving threats to Jemma or Emmett. Episode 9 could end with Douda finally losing control, or someone finally pulling the trigger. Victor's arc has been all about redemption. He tried to step out of his past and into the public light, but nothing stays hidden forever in Chicago. That secret he buried, the one that could destroy his political career, might come back in episode 9. Remember the reporter? She's still out there, and if she drops a story, it could cost him everything. But here's where it gets tricky. Victor might be ready to take the fall if it protects the people he cares about. So our prediction is that Victor does something big, maybe even sacrificial. He could expose Douda or take a public hit that ends his campaign but brings truth to the surface. Either way, Victor won't leave this season the same man he was when it started. Jake and Jemma have been drifting apart, and it's only getting worse. Jemma is changing, becoming more politically active, more independent. Jake is trying to find stability but is stuck between being a teenager and stepping into manhood. They still care for each other, but care doesn't always equal compatibility. Asterisk prediction. A major argument is coming. One that pushes them to either break up or redefine who they are to each other. This might be the moment where Jake starts to stand alone without leaning on Douda, without following anyone else's path. His growth might be one of the few hopeful arcs in episode 9. He could step up, not as a sidekick, but as his own man. Asterisk. Now let's talk about the wildcard. Bakari. He's one of the most unpredictable characters in the Chi, and that's what makes him dangerous. But it's also what makes him valuable. In episode 8, he seemed quieter, more thoughtful. That means one thing: he's thinking, planning, maybe even regretting. Asterisk. Here's a bold prediction: Bakari flips. He gives someone up. Maybe Douda, maybe someone else. But it won't be clean. It might come with a price. He could get caught in the middle, maybe even shot. But if Bakari makes a move, it could be the domino that knocks everything over. Asterisk. Last but not least, Keisha. She's not the same girl she was in earlier seasons. She's stronger now, but also colder. More guarded. She's seen too much. Been through too much. And in episode 9, she might reach her limit. If Emmett doesn't clean up his mess, she's gone. Emotionally, maybe even physically. Asterisk prediction. Keisha walks away. Not out of hate, but out of self. And honestly, she might be the only one who actually survives the chaos of episode 9 by making that choice. Let's step out of the obvious and into the unexpected. Because if you've been watching the Chi long enough, you know they don't just tie things up neatly. They hit you with that one moment that nobody saw coming. And episode 9. Yeah, it's got that energy. Asterisk. So here are a few wildcard theories, the kind that might sound crazy now, but make perfect sense when the credits roll. Asterisk. We've all been watching Douda like he's got a target on his back. But what if that's the setup and someone else takes the fall? What if Keisha gets caught in the crossfire? Or what if Bakari, after trying to do the right thing, pays the ultimate price? This show has never shied away from loss, and it's due for another major one. Whoever it is, their death would shake the entire community. Asterisk. Hear me out. Papa has always been the heart. The spiritual one. The one who tries to find peace when others are at war. But the loss of his father changed something in him. There's been a quiet shift, a darkness creeping in. And what if episode 9 is when he snaps? Maybe not violently, but emotionally. What if he walks away from church? What if he decides faith isn't enough anymore? That would change everything. We know about him. Asterisk. Jemma's arc this season has been about identity, who she is, what she wants, and how she's no longer willing to settle. We've seen her drift from Jake emotionally. We've seen her question the life she's building. So here's the theory. She leaves, not forever, but maybe for college, or a music program, or just to find herself outside Chicago. It could be her way of choosing peace, not pain. Asterisk. Victor might want to be a hero, but deep down, he knows how Chicago works. What if, instead of exposing the system, he becomes part of it just enough to survive? He might sacrifice a friend, leak info to the press, or cut a backdoor deal with police or politicians to stay out of jail. It's not the move we want from him, but it would be real, raw, human. Asterisk. Okay, now this one's bold. But the Chi loves shock value. What if Douda fakes his own death to escape the heat? Everyone thinks he's gone. The city breathes for a moment. And then boom, season 8 starts with him in a new city, plotting a comeback. It would be classic Douda, always one step ahead. Asterisk. At this point, we know one thing for sure. The Chi doesn't end quietly. Season 7 episode 9 is the finale for a reason. It's going to close some chapters, but it's also going to leave us with questions that carry into season 8. Who's still standing? Who's broken? Who's changed for good? Asterisk. No matter what happens, this show stays rooted in one thing: truth, the good, the bad, the painful, and the powerful. It's about community, survival, and choices. And episode 9 is going to test everyone's choices. Asterisk. So now it's your turn. What do you think is about to go down in episode 9? Who do you think's walking away? And who's not? Drop your predictions in the comments. I'm reading every single one. If you're ready for a full breakdown once episode 9 airs, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss it. Asterisk. More Chi content coming soon. Until then, stay sharp. Because in this city, you never know what's coming next. Asterisk, the streets of the Chi never stay quiet for long. And as we head into episode 9, there's a tension in the air that feels different. Finales are never just about endings, they're about transformation. This isn't just a season wrapping up, it's the last breath before something new begins. Some characters will make it out stronger, some won't make it out at all. Asterisk, what's powerful about the Chi is that it never forgets the people behind the stories. These aren't just plot twists, they're reflections of real pain, real love, and real survival. When a character like Emmett falls, we feel it because we've seen his climb. When Keisha cries, we don't just see tears, we see scars she earned. And when someone like Douda smiles, we know it's not just a smirk, it's a warning. Asterisk, and maybe that's why we keep watching. Because in the middle of all the chaos, the politics, the crime, the heartbreak, the Chi always finds a way to show us something real. Hope. Sometimes it's quiet. Sometimes it's buried under pain. But it's always there. A glimmer, a second chance. A moment where someone chooses right, even when it costs everything. Asterisk, so yeah. Episode 9 might hurt. It might shock. It might even break us a little. But that's the Chi. It doesn't play it safe, and we wouldn't want it any other way.